PM is never on time. The goal, Tone. The goal saying that. Oh my God. Hello, everybody. So sorry. What's up, Luis? What's up, Martin? Brett, how are you doing? Tone, I'm not talking to you. Who else is here? Chip, what's up? Antero, hello, how are you doing? Martin, did I say Martin? Of course I did. Bianca, hello. Who else is here? Let's see, Neil Smith is here, hello. And Friendo, welcome back. So just to explain a few things before we start. I'm going to stream this in vertical streaming, as you can see. But in the end, there are going to be two streams available. So one of them is running unlisted right now, and that's the horizontal one. If my channel was a little bit bigger and had a little bit more of the reach, I would make both of them available now. And you could see whichever you can. But because the reach of a vertical video depends on how many people are watching right now. What do you mean, Chip? Is it vertical? I couldn't tell. Are you being sarcastic? I hope so. Anyways, hello, Vivo, what's up? So I need you here to see if we can reach a few more people. But on the replay, they're going to be, the horizontal one is going to be available as well. Okay? Because what we're talking about is kind of a little bit important, in my opinion. Right? So we're talking today about EAT-Lancet report on how the report was interacted with by the social media meat shields, basically, someone who they call misinfluencers, basically. We're going to get that. But first, what is EAT-Lancet, right? So the first report came out in 2019, and it tried to predict how to feed the entire human population in 2050. And their report was dire. They basically said, well, we should prioritize plant foods, eliminate animal agriculture almost entirely, or we won't be able to feed the entire human population, 10 billion people, by 2050, or we're going to destroy the environment entirely. That's the, of course, hyperbolizing and paraphrasing the report. But that was the gist of it. We need, as humankind, to move towards a much higher plant-based diet, right? They're not vegans. These people are not vegans. They did include animal products in their report, but they said we really must downsize it, or people are going to starve and we're going to kill the environment to the point of making Earth inhabitable, basically. So, right after the report came out, or actually slightly before, sorry, let me please mute Discord. We don't need this today. We don't need Discord today. Before the report was released, there was a huge amount of backlash, preemptive backlash, towards this report by certain individuals on social media and in like regular media, you know, like papers and stuff. And so before the 2025, I think, report, another EAT-Lancet report comes out, right? Because they're going to make those once in a while. They wrote this report showing how they tracked those misinfluencers and the connections between them. Thank you, I appreciate it. My look is sharp today. And so basically, they are making the claim that the report is being targeted by people who are pro animal agriculture industries and pro animal agriculture lobbies or paid lobbies. Very, very cool stuff. I've just read the summary, but we're going to start from the beginning. This might take a few weeks, if not months, to go through, but I think it's so interesting that it's worth dedicating several live streams to, basically. Twitch streamer just turns to us. Yeah, it's because I have the browser app open, Bianca, and I have the regular app open as well. So the regular app is muted, but the browser app, which I do need, I do use it, that one the most, is the one making sounds. And when I do my Discord outreach, I need it to make the sounds because sometimes people pop into my server and we can have a debate. But if I don't know about it, it's, that's why there are Discord sounds. All right. Now, shall we begin? Or do you have any questions before we begin about the EAT-Lancet? If you're ready to begin, please put one in the chat. I'm going to wait patiently. I'm not known for my patience, but I'm going to try. Frendo is ready. Antero is ready. Bianca is ready. Hey, what's up, Will Steven? Brett is ready as well. Okay, it looks like the core audience is ready. So let's begin. In early January, I'm going to make it as big as possible because this is a vertical stream as well. But on the horizontal, it also looks, we don't need the picture next to it, I guess. So we can just read the text. All right, Chip is ready as well. Awesome. Very good. Martin is ready, I think. Okay. In early 2019, nonprofit organization, the EAT Foundation, EAT, it's very aptly named, it's very cool, and the medical journal, The Lancet, published Food in the Anthropocene, the EAT-Lancet Commission on Healthy Diets from Sustainable Food Systems. Oh, of course, they also addressed health. It would be really silly to not address health in a report about food. So human health outcomes definitely was part of this report. The commission comprised 37 leading scientists from 16 countries working in human health, agriculture, political science, and environmental sustainability, and sought to create a framework for a planetary health diet. So, environment and human health. That, in a world of 10 billion people, which is what they suppose is going to happen by 2050, balanced human nutrition with ecological sustainability. Amazing. The report stated, by the way, it's incredibly well cited, this entire thing. We might look into citations once in a while if we don't understand something or if something seems, I don't know, sus to me. The report stated that without action, the world risks failing to meet the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement, and that food is the single strongest lever to optimize human health and sustainability on Earth. I agree. I agree. From everything that I read, this is correct. Commissioners attempted to provide concrete scenarios and targets through which a growing population can have a healthy diet from a sustainable food system. The report suggested a flexitarian diet. So again, not vegan extremists wrote this. Predominantly plant-based, but including modest amounts of fish, meat, and dairy. Its findings recommended doubling global consumption of healthy foods such as fruits, vegetables, legumes, and nuts, and more than halving a consumption of sugar and red meat, especially in global north countries in which animal products are overconsumed. There you go. They create citations on the site sometimes as well, so it's really cool. By the way, if you want to read the entire report, I will of course provide you with the link afterwards. Yeah, flexitarian diet. I mean, listen, again, Luis, I don't think ethics entered this report. I don't think that was part on their agenda, right? So they're talking about human health and planetary health. If a report was to be made by vegans, of course, they would include the exploitation and slaughter of animals and how unjust it is. But these people don't concern themselves with such a thing. The EAT-Lancet, it's still relevant to us, right? Because it's relevant to us because the same people who target this report, they are calling this report vegan, quote unquote. They are the same people who are targeting the vegan movement and the plant-based diet. So the EAT-Lancet paper is one of the most influential scientific reports ever released. Well, they're really sucking up to themselves right there. With over 600 policy citations by 2024. They kept updating the report, which is very interesting. That's why it's going to be a new report release. It was published in 12 languages and promoted, yeah, there you go. You can get them in 12. I can see 11, but that's okay. It was published in 12 languages and promoted through 36 launch events in 27 countries, featuring in top-tier media across the world. However, the potential of the report to lead to regulation and societal change that could pose a serious threat to the interest of big meat and dairy led to significant online backlash against the report's findings and the commission itself. Interesting. This is considered one of the earliest examples of culture war around dietary change, a notable real-world consequence that was the World Health Organization cancelling its sponsorship of the EAT-Lancet launch event planned for March 28, 2019, following the pressure from Italy's then ambassador and permanent representative to the UN, echoing narratives used in the online backlashes. So the backlash was so dire that it made an international organization change their plans and stop endorsing this incredibly important report. And we will see later that this person, Frederick Leroy, is one of the people who had a huge amount of influence on this backlash, or a big role in this backlash as well. So this says, after Italy, UN, Geneva's critique on EAT-Lancet, who dropped its high-profile endorsement of the diet, blemished beyond repair. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know why lack of endorsement is more important than the facts presented in the report itself. But obviously, here they're showing the actual credentials. Right. Sorry. I am still sniffling, so I apologize for that. Elements of the backlash have been researched and reported on. In 2019, The Lancet published an article showing how digital counter-movement, mobilizing under the hashtag #YesToMeat, not at all biased, dominated online discussions, and that initially ambivalent users were swayed by this, with negative messages shared 6 times more than supportive ones. This is how it's done, guys. This is the main internet war, it seems. In 2025, The Smoke and The Guardian revealed how the industry PR agency Red Flag, the name is very apt, was funded by an industry lobby group, the Animal Agriculture Alliance, to proactively undermine the EAT-Lancet launch. So, very involved in the backlash was indeed this group or that is paid for by the animal agriculture. Sniffling VPM is better than no VPM? Oh, all right, maybe. This report by the Changing Markets Foundation built on these findings and explores in greater depth how meat industry affiliated groups mobilized the attack to the EAT-Lancet report in 2019 as part of the targeted and coordinated campaign. Our findings strengthened the evidence of industry interference and connections with key misinfluencers, showing the hallmarks of an orchestrated campaign. This includes converging around the hashtag being tracked by industry and initially shared by industry-connected misinfluencers, posting simultaneously, tagging each other, and continuously sharing the same articles. Some of those shameless misinfluencers continued doing these exact tactics immediately after this report was released. Talking about this report. So, for instance, I'm gonna spoil that Sean Baker is one of those people, number one, in fact, number one misinfluencer tagged by this report. So Sean Baker made a post on Twitter in which he was like, oh, blah, 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 named number one baddie by the people who told us to eat bugs. And then the number two, Nina Teicholz, retweeted Sean Baker's tweet and made her own weird posturing. So they continued doing this thing because they know that their supporters couldn't give a shit, couldn't care less, that they are indeed very highly motivated shields for the meat industry. They don't care. They just want like vegans to be dunked on or healthy plant-based diets to be dunked on. They don't care about anything else. So our research delivers the first comprehensive mapping of the key players behind the backlash. We'll get there. It shows how this period cemented and possibly initiated many of the connections between, by the way, is my sound okay? Yeah, it looks okay. Sorry. It shows how the peace period cemented and possibly initiated many of the connections between prolific food systems misinfluencers, industry-friendly scientists, carnivorous doctors, health influencers, and pro-meat journalists and authors. So many, many people were involved in this. In fact, I think the list they're going to present is about 100 people out of thousands that they tracked. All right. We'll look at how this was presented by industry and highly successful example of coordination to sway public opinion, especially among undecided audiences. This is who we are up against. So a coordinated effort makes me feel like we stand no chance, but maybe there's hope in the end. We then review how the landscape has evolved and the implications for the updated report, EAT-Lancet 2.0, due for release in October 2025. I think it's going to be released in a couple of days. So this research compared with previous analysis. So they show timeline analysis, how they did the analysis of the social media and media simpliciter to reach their conclusions. Methodology. We might read through this really quick and skip this one because I don't know if it's interesting to us in what way they came to that conclusion. But yeah, essentially quacks. That's true, Chip. The research for this report is based on analysis of Twitter X posts. Sorry, sniffling again, conducted by Ripple Research and analysis of background documents and media articles identifying the origin of various campaigns. This is kind of one of those things that I wish I knew how to do, how to track a claim to its origin. Ripple's analysis captured a total of 37 months of online narratives spanning 3 main time windows. June 1st, 2018 to April 2019, a period covering over 7 months before the 3 months after the launch of EAT-Lancet report. Before and 3 months after the EAT-Lancet report. June 1st, 2022 to July 31st, 2023, the period covered in Changing Markets 2023 report, Truth, Lies and Culture Wars, which provided further insight into the development of key narratives. It's just like amazing that we have all of this knowledge of how those things were deployed, and nobody gives a crap. Nobody cares that they were influenced and what the actual truth is. It's really, sorry, it breaks me a little, but you know, I always have hope. I'll bounce back. Sorry. If I suffer, you should suffer too, is what I'm saying. And then the third period is June 1st, 2024 to 31st of May, 2025, to cover the latest period and track how narratives have developed and which misinfluences and hashtags are still active. That's true, Luis. Okay. Ripple Research combines structured keyword-based data collection with detailed manual categorization and tagging, allowing for deep qualitative and quantitative analysis. For the 2018-2019 dataset, all data was manually captured from Twitter and X. That's crazy. The dataset before AI, I guess. But even before AI, I have a friend working in similar research, and they're using algorithms and stuff. I guess maybe algorithms are considered to be manual these days. The dataset is built using a structured keyword search approach. To ensure the dataset tightly focused on EAT-Lancet, the core search terms included all variations of the phrase. I mean, EAT-Lancet, planetary, health diet, EAT-Lancet. As well as select hashtags such as yes to meat, meat heals, we know who started that one, climate food facts known to be connected to EAT-Lancet discourse. Let me just fix it so it's, there you go, so it's prettier. Only content critical to EAT-Lancet was selected, including direct critiques, hostile responses, mis and disinformation. By the way, they talked in the beginning what the difference is between mis and disinformation. My audience is educated enough to know the difference between the two. Rejection narratives and explicit resistance. The researchers then analyzed key accounts, key narratives, hashtags, and timelines. For the 2025 dataset, collection was partially automated, applying the same keyword lexicon and inclusion criteria as in the 2018 and 2019 dataset. While the capture of a larger volume of relevant content was automated, human validation and critical analysis were then applied to maintain consistency and ensure precision across datasets. So a little less crazy, but still an amazing amount of work. Let me just disable this for a little bit. Let's do for an hour. Okay, sorry about that. Working from Ripple's initial analysis, the Changing Markets team then carried out additional research to review the main social media misinfluences, industry accounts, and hashtags. So a lot of work has been done. We did this using publicly available sources such as media reports, as well as documents leaked to journalists and researchers which were shared with us and reanalyzed relevant documents released under Freedom of Information request. I would have been loved to be part of this team. I would have been rolling my eyes the entire time and like be amazed face the entire time. Through this research, we established links between some misinfluence and industry-funded research and PR. We were also able to show connections between misinfluences and identify some financial interest linked to the pushing of narratives, such as the health benefits of carnivorous diet. Amazing. So we definitely now have the evidence that the carnivore diet is just a meat shield. Gobbledygook, right? Additionally, we analyzed documents and extensive audio recordings obtained by Changing Markets about the so-called Denver Summit and its subsequent call for action in 2024. We also summarize existing evidence of the industry links to the so-called Dublin Declaration in 2022, a precursor to Denver, and highlights how key misinfluencer Frederick Leroy has been central to both. No, I haven't heard about this person until this report either. Somehow he evaded my wrath on Twitter. I don't know how, because I know all the most of the rest of the blonkers at least. How can we get you to be part of it? Well, I think you need credentials and shit. I think you need to know what you're doing, and notoriously have many talents, but being educated is not one of them. Okay, so that was methodology. Ooh. Let's continue. Closely coordinated networks. Our research has revealed coordinated activity with both individual and industry accounts, posting with high intensity and at key moments, tagging each other, using similar hashtags, and reposting each other's posts and articles. All right. The top 100 misinfluencers by engagement in the data set make up nearly 50% of the posts and over 90% of the total engagement. So what they're going to show us is the people who were the most successful at mobilizing people to their postage and stuff like that. Okay. Further, I'm trying to look into, if you want my attention in the comments, please tag me, because otherwise I'm going to have a hard time. So further to this, we found that the top 20 misinfluencers make up 19% of the posts and 69% of total engagement. None of the top 20 are industry accounts, but as we will see later, some of these misinfluencers have established ties with the industry or personal as well as financial ties with the industry or personal as well as financial reasons to be advocating for maintaining high level of meat consumption. I sure hope, I didn't go much further than this in the report, but I sure fucking hope they will show us each misinfluencer and their motivations to do this. I sure would want to know. None of the top 100 seem to be bots or fake accounts, but these include 4 prominent industry accounts: the North American Meat Institute, the Animal Agriculture Alliance. Let's move on. Oh, they're showing the map. This is actually worth looking at. And then we'll continue reading the other stuff, okay? So, yeah, it's mid-sentence, but that's okay. So, as I said, number 1 is Sean Baker. The thumb in our side. I was going to say the thorn in our side, but he's more of a thumb looking individual. The second one is Nina Teicholz. Nina Teicholz, if somebody doesn't know her story. Yes, I appreciate you, Tom. Thank you. That's his Frederick Leroy. You want me to look at it? Let's look at it. The Dublin Declaration of Scientists of the Societal Role of Livestock. So this is his report. Something that we might want to go over later in life. So Nina Teicholz, if people don't know, she's a journalist, or used to be a journalist, or something like that. And a couple of years ago, quite a few now, she wrote a book on it. She basically, I don't think she's a carnivore, but she's basically like, they are trying to kill us by telling us to eat more plants. One of those people. You're familiar with the type, obviously. Ken Berry, we're also familiar with, is one of the carnivore doctors, who's actually not a carnivore, but that's okay. And then Frederick Leroy is the person that, her name makes your skin crawl, same. Tone is the person that I'm supposing wrote this report. Tone, is that what we're looking at? Yeah. Again, this is the one person who avoided my wrath. And then, well, actually, I don't know most of those people, I guess. I know who Jason Fong is. Holy shit, he's a gibberish generator. I might have heard of this guy at some point. Who else is in here? There's an unknown. Carnivore Keto is unknown. Well, I know the account very, very well. Okay, unknown. Never heard of Discos 266. Maybe, probably have tackled that person on social media. I just don't remember. And then, I guess I don't know that many at all. Zoe Harcombe, I definitely know who she is. She's another one of those gibberish generators who's like, plants are trying to kill us. Plants are trying to kill us, and cholesterol is actually really fucking good for you. Is it then? And if you guys are recognizing anybody of those people, let me know. I was totally, that's Animal Agriculture Alliance. Those are the people that are actually responsible for some of this shit, I guess. I remember vaguely Dave Dent. Yeah, I guess I don't know that many. Amber Hearn, I definitely know who this person is. Amber Hearn is a special kind of person. The Ethical Butcher, so that one is a little bit obvious, I guess. Yeah, all right. I guess I don't know that many. But here's their methodology. This is how they mapped it out. How these people all orbit each other, basically. And this is how they reached, made the 6 times stronger reach than the EAT-Lancet report itself, I guess, or the pro-EAT-Lancet report postings. They just interacted with each other and boosted each other to the great degree. And this report says this effort was coordinated. So we're going to check out their claims. So they said none of the top 100 seem boards, figures out, but these include 4 prominent industry accounts. North American is somewhere there in there. Animal Agriculture Alliance, right? International Livestock Research Institute. All shockers, of course. And UK right-wing think tank Institute of Economic Affairs. So another shocking discovery that this was backed by right-wing. No, no harm, no ill thought from me to people, individual people who are right-wingers, right? People are allowed to have their opinions. But then there are organizations, and I would say, generally speaking, right-wing is less compatible with progressive thoughts like veganism. But, within the top 100 accounts, we identified a subset of 33 accounts which appeared in the connected network, which is what we just saw. Our data set reveals that these misinfluencers frequently tagged each other in misinformation posts. This is not a case of just anyone tagging, but a pattern in which top misinfluencers consistently tagged other top misinfluencers. This is where I think our individuality as vegans kind of harms us, because we are not as good at this kind of stuff, right? Just tagging each other to boost each other, right? The same misinfluencers actively boosted each other's content. Over 60% of the links shared by the identified network accounts were written by people within that network. For example, Friedrich Leroy's articles posted in the European Food Agency, on the European Food Agency website, was shared 29 times by people within the network. There was also coordination on timing, with many of the posts by top misinfluencers appearing in proximity before, during, and after the EAT-Lancet launch. So this was coordinated before the launch of the report, which is a crucial moment, I think, to understand, a crucial action to grasp, because this was preemptive and organized. The tagging and amplification repeated throughout the dataset, leading to 5 different peaks in our timeline. See below. It's possible small industry accounts, such as local farms, were in the top 100, but these are the most prominent large industry association. Despite its official sounding name and logo, the European Food Agency, I was wondering, has no relation to the European Food Safety Authority. So they are trying to get a sniffle of officiality by giving themselves that name. No Area Food Standards Regulation bodies, so they're just like regulatory bodies, it says. So they just gave themselves a name that sounds official. The Italian-owned and run website presents itself as the first news agency entirely dedicated to the agri-food industry in Italy and Europe. For more, see this thing. Jesus Christ. Oh, I clicked on it and I didn't realize that it was clickable. Shit. So this is part of the shit. This is part of it. Please click on the right space. No, I'm gonna have to scroll. All right, that's okay. I'm just gonna have to be more cognizant of this next time. All right, let's continue. The industry-linked hashtags. Can make it even bigger. There you go. Our research, no, that's too big, I think. There you go. Our research provides, can I make it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm obsessing about how it looks because I have to look at 2 places because it's both vertical and horizontal. Our research provides detailed insights into the content of posts and accounts that formed the backlash on Twitter. Previous research has identified 2 main hashtags. Yes to me, the hashtag that was linked with the EAT-Lancet report days before the launch and was quickly picked up by several misinfluencers, and climate food facts coordinated by the Red Flag Agency, likely to on behalf of the AAA. So that's Animal Agriculture Alliance. The name of it is so Nazi. Animal Agriculture Alliance. Jesus fucking Christ. Alphacaros, behave. We're showing why you are brainwashed. So do us a favor. Listen, don't talk. Louis said life, right and left also means quite different things to different people. I've been called left-winger by some right-winger or by others. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not about like the individual political affiliations or even, I don't know, life understandings, I guess, because there is a correlation between being right-wing or left-wing by the way that you view the world, right? I'm not talking about that, right? I have people who are right-wing in my life, and I wouldn't want to poo-poo their worldview, like as a blanket statement. I'm just saying that it seems that right-wing affiliation appeals more to people who are more traditional, more conservative, and more closely related to animal agriculture, just by the fact that animal agriculture is run a lot of times by people who affiliate with conservatism and stuff like that. Can't see Alpha is not complaining. Don't poke it. No worries. It's all right. So our analysis shows who first pushed these hashtags and which accounts converged around them at what time to indicate a tight network of coordination. Further evidence suggests that Yes to Meat was also part of the official campaign with industry ties. Another widely used hashtag was Meat Heals, which pre-existed before the launch of EAT-Lancet. The hashtag was popularized by Miss Influencer Sean Baker in 2017 and started being used in the EAT-Lancet backlash on 12th of January. It is mostly used in the carnivore, meatfluencer, and manosphere Twitter X space, which we know in a constant fight with the vegan Twitter, with users sharing their positive experiences with meat consumption and criticizing EAT-Lancet's recommendation to reduce it. Despite its prominence during EAT-Lancet, as it was not a hashtag created or mobilized to specifically attack the report's findings, and as it has more organic, albeit exploited, roots, we have not conducted a focused analysis on its use during the backlash. I wish they did, because I want to see other stuff, right? Now they have like this collected data. I bet there are gems in that collected data that would be interesting to us as vegans. Similarly, although EAT-Lancet was widely used by misinfluencers during the backlash, it was also used more broadly, including in general discussion and pro-report context, right? So they excluded, I guess, the EAT-Lancet hashtag because of that. And what do we have here? This is, I think, what I asked for, and that's industry ties. So we're going to go through it. Holy fuck, I'm so excited because I haven't read this part. So I'm going to go by at least the first four and a couple of more because I'm familiar with those people. I'm not familiar with all of them. So Sean Baker is the biggest misinfluencer when it comes to this. Doctor health influencer is the definition. And industry ties financial motives. I have to reduce it, otherwise you won't be able to see it. Career built out of promotion of carnivore diets. That's the motivation that they found on Sean Baker. One of the earliest promoters of the official opposition campaign on 14th of January 2019, 3 days before the EAT-Lancet report launched. 3 days before he started the attack. But of course, this can't tell us if Sean Baker actually receives any kind of money from anybody. because, not Sean Baker, I think, because he's a private person, really doesn't have to disclose what he does for a living, does he? So the next one is, this is so fucking interesting, guys. Nina Teicholz. Her name was spelled differently here and there. This is the correct spelling, I think. But that's a mistake they should fix in the report, in my opinion. So as I said, she's a journalist in Alpha. She used to be a journalist, and then she wrote a book on this shit. Career built out of promotion of keto diets. Red Flag Consulting identifies her content in a report back about the success of its campaign to discredit EAT-Lancet. So at the least, they're saying she was very successful and is likely one of the experts Red Flag refers to having briefed. So much more direct accusation. Ken Berry is also Dr. I feel like I should do this every single time I say that shit. And a health influencer, especially in case of Ken Berry, who I believe wasn't reinstated to be a medical practitioner. Yeah. Career built out of promotion of paleo and keto diets. And if you want to see how much money Ken Berry receives from this endeavor, go visit his YouTube channel and see one of his live streams, how many super chats he gets. And then Friedrich Leroy, I'm not familiar with him, but I would like to see a little bit more. So it says scientist academic, because this person apparently is one of the people who is credited quite highly for the air of like scientific accuracy to the backlash of EAT-Lancet. So career boomed with EAT-Lancet opposition on the industry conference circuit, possibly part of the academic contingent of 40 scientists mobilized to discredit EAT-Lancet. Red Flag Consulting identifies his content in a report back about the success of its campaign. This is hard for me to read because the font is kind of weird. So I apologize for like beep-boop kind of reading. Its campaign to discredit EAT-Lancet and is likely to be one of the experts Red Flag refers to having briefed. What else do we have? The rest of the people are not really too familiar with. I'm familiar with Jason Fang, I guess, but I just want to see what the claims are. So it doesn't matter what the name is, right? So industry ties are well established, right? This person. Mitloen, I'm pretty sure I have interacted with this person, was at the center of the academic opposition to EAT between 2018 and 2024. He received 3.8 million for his clear center from industry sources, including using the remarkable success of the backlash of EAT-Lancet to fundraise. Mitloen is also funded by industry to push a controversial change to how agricultural methane is measured. There is I remember that report. I remember reading it really briefly. That was a couple of years ago, I think. So Jason Fung, they couldn't find anything on him, I see. Oh, no, that's PG Mangan. So Jason Fung, they say he's Dr. Health Influencer and career built out of promotion of keto diets. Red Flag Consulting identifies his content in a report back about the success of its campaign to discredit EAT-Lancet and is likely one of the experts Red Flag refers to having briefed. Again, one of those things. So most of those people, they're just like promoting a high meat diet and they build their careers on it. So all the coaches, all the doctors, the journalists, the book writers. And it doesn't matter that the books are just absolute invented shit and regurgitation of each other, basically. None of that matters. People just read the book that tells them that the foods that they enjoy the most, unethically, are the foods that are gonna make them healthiest. So that's that. What else have we got here? That's the backlash timeline starting in 2019. Days before the EAT-Lancet was released, right? Or months, I guess. That's 3 months, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And it never died down. They just kept doing it. It's crazy. And the pigs, whom they attribute the pigs to. Miss Influencer Friedrich Leroy's anti-EAT-Lancet article is published on EFA News and widely shared. Leroy released anti-EAT-Lancet piece with EFA News. It goes viral on January 13th. Oh, I suppose Climate Food Facts campaign is launched on January 9th, before the report itself. There is another campaign launched, the Yes to Meat. EAT-Lancet report launched on January 17th. So, yeah, so 4 days before this plonker releases a report to discredit the EAT-Lancet 4 days before it was launched. I guess it doesn't take that much time to write bullshit. Postmortem, that was the debate you watched on Chris Bryan channel last week. That was Leroy. That motherfucker. Sorry, I'm swearing. I'm not supposed to be swearing. Holy shit. Okay, I need to rewatch that then, because I think I went in the middle. All right, and there were a bunch of other picks. So multiple EAT-Lancet thorough thought pieces are released and promoted in tandem. So this is coordinated. Not gonna lie, I've been screaming for, I think, 2.5 years now. Not to you guys, I've been screaming to other people that we should do like coordinated releases of a bunch of stuff. All right. Let's continue. Fuck. I'm getting pissed off, I'm not gonna lie. Our data set shows that Yes to Meat was first used in connection with criticism of the EAT-Lancet report on 14th of January 2019 by pro-meat health influencer Ken Berry, motherfucker. And a few hours later by pro-industry scientist Frederick Leroy, indicating close connections between pro-meat health influencers and pro-industry scientists. Yes to Meat was the key hashtag around which pro-meat advocacy consolidated and attacked the findings of the EAT-Lancet report. According to research by the Stockholm Resilience Center on the period from December 2018 to March 2019, hashtag Yes to Meat reached 26 million people on Twitter, compared with 25 million reached by those promoting the research. The research also found that the negative campaign succeeded in moving undecided users, with critical posts shared 6 times more frequently than supportive posts. That's crazy. Documents released to the investigative journalism arm of Greenpeace unearthed from University of California, Davis, US Davis, in response to our Freedom of Information request, suggests that the hashtag Yes to Meat campaign received industry funding, and they have a citation for this. And I'm thinking maybe I should go to the citation. Let me just write it down. Maybe we can do that at the end, because I don't want to disrupt the flow way too much. Let me just write it down on a little paper. Citations. Why am I doing this? I have a computer in front of me. Why am I doing this? All right. So, citations to check out. Meat versus EAT-Lancet. Right. Citation 25. Hashtag yes to meat receiving industry funding. All right. I don't know if you guys like this kind of content, but I'm fucking ecstatic here. I love when like inner mechanisms of all sorts of stuff are being aired. I love it. In 2022, Unearthed investigated the origin of funding of US Davis's Livestock Research Institute, the Clarity and Leadership for Environmental Awareness and Research, CLEAR Center. The research was also published in a feature article in the New York Times. The CLEAR Center is led by Professor Frank Mitloehner, whom we looked at, a central pro-industry scientific figure and vocal social media misinfluencer. One of the documents released reveals Mitloehner's role in the backlash of the EAT-Lancet report, stating how he launched an academic opposition composed of 40 scientists from across the country, coinciding with the official opposition named Yes to Meat. How fucking original. Despite zero funding for the academic contingent, the group mobilized a massive campaign fighting against inaccuracies and misinformation inherent to the report and its promotion with high success. This was possible because of a champion, as they were willing to, this was possible because of a campaign, strange word, as there were willing to participants who just needed a spark to ignite their efforts. This shows that there was an official opposition which did not include any funding for academics, but Mitloehner nevertheless mobilized and coordinated those voices, which contributed to the successful backlash to the report. Crazy. The documents used the Stockholm Resilience Institute study to celebrate the success of the campaign, especially in swaying undecided audiences away from the EAT-Lancet report. No wonder people are fucking stupid. They're being made so. And getting Frank Mitloehner invited to the panel debate with EAT science director Fabrice de Klerk at Cornell University. So he's actually like, was so influential that they were put in the same room. The paper concludes by highlighting a significant need for nucleus, such as the CLEAR Center, where high-impact communication efforts can be coordinated and sparked. While Unearthed reported on Mitloehner's involvement in the EAT-Lancet backlash, the details of the scientist coalition mobilization and the center's use of the backlash to pursue further funding have not been covered. All right. The unearthed investigation showed how the Clear Center was established in 2019 agreement between US Davis and the Institute for Feed Education Research. Jesus Christ. IFEEDA. IFEEDA. IFEEDA is the name, is the acronym they went with. Do they not have social media literacy? IFEEDA. Jesus fucking Christ. The charitable arm of the American Feed Industry Association. This stuff looks crazy. So AFIA, that's American Feed Industry Association, represents companies linked to the livestock industry, including major international players, Cargill, Tyson Foods, and Pilgrims, owned by Brazilian giant JBS. So obviously, those people are part of it. And then there is the Canberry tweet. I say yes to meat. How about you? All right. So Yes to Meat appeared 3 days before the EAT-Lancet launch and quickly took hold as a rallying point for opposition. It combined personal health testimonials with strong anti-establishment messaging and remains a persistent tool to reject meat reduction efforts. Yeah. Let's continue. It's too little, something like that. Okay. The creation of the Clear Center was seen as critical for iFeeder to be able to reference when starting the important message of animal agriculture's role as a solution provider in a national effort to address climate change issues. I'm thinking of the tweets I can make with iFeeder. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna stop now because wouldn't want to be flagged for like that kind of content. Between 2002 and 2021, Meat Owner or the Clear Center received nearly 12.5 million in funding from government agencies, including the US Department of Agriculture, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and animal livestock companies, including Eli Lilly Elanco, whatever that means. Sorry, that's just like a name of a company. This document states, well, tone policing, yeah. It's funny. This document states that a hashtag Yes to Meat was the official opposition campaign and possibly infers it was funded. The MOU, what's the MOU? Something that establishes Clear Center funding was written by Joel Newman, who was at the time the president of both the AFIA and its charitable arm, the Institute for iFeeder. The MOU dated 31 of May 2018 shows that industry groups have committed millions of dollars of funding for the Clear Center's work in exchange for maintaining a 12-member advisory board with broad industry. So they paid almost $1 million to each board member, I guess. At the same time, the Clear Center committee to provide regular progress reports on its activities and their impact. The MOU also highlights the industry's efforts to position Frank Mitlona, whoever the name is, I'm so sorry, as an opinion leader establishing his presence on Twitter, blogs, and through submitting opinion pieces in media such as The Conversation. It specifically mentions the North American Mint Institute, NAMI, as leading outreach to the dietary community, to the dietitian community, and link which appears to have been established by the time we tracked the social media backlash to EAT-Lancet. This is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Meat Loaner was then able to use the success of the backlash to fundraise for the Clear Center's work. A 2024 study of the relationship between the meat industry and academic institution in the US found that between 2019 and 2023, the Clear Center received at least 3.7 million from industry sources. The majority, 2.8 million, from iFeeder, with further contributions from the National Pork Board, 600,000, the California Cattle Council, 200,000, and Burger King, 106,000. That's how much they paid for this campaign. That's crazy. So the people, Alpha Caros, whom you're paying money to, they then spend that money to incentivize you to spend more money on their product. What's up, Nilf? How you doing? Furthermore, other contributions from industry groups such as the California Dairy Research Foundation have also been made to the Clear Center, for the amounts but the amounts are unknown. Okay, well, we don't know how much dairy paid for this. Leading scientists have referred to the Clear Center model as borrowing from the tobacco industry playbook, working from Rule 1, cast doubt on the science. They are incredibly successful, them and all other people who are casting doubt on the science are incredibly successful at doing so. An approach the meat industry, it works so closely with a well-versed in. An approach the meat industry, it works so closely with, is well-versed in. Okay. I gotcha. I understood that sentence, finally. So sorry. Not an English speaker. Not originally. In July 2019 interview for news outlet Feed Strategy. Yeah, those guys, they don't know what they're saying, are they? Don't they know what feederism is? Do they not know? Joel Newman, this guy again, reflected on his work and offering advice for feed industry leaders and industry stakeholders before his upcoming retirement from the AFIA. In it, he highlights the formation of a stakeholder coalition to develop a united strategy and consistent messaging to dispel the findings of the EAT-Lancet report as an example of impactful industry collaboration that needs to happen more often. He cited the evolution of communication as one of the most monumental changes to shape the animal feed industry, specifically to tell the story of the environmental impact of animal agriculture, which he claimed is limited compared to the other industries and is constantly being reduced through technologies and best practices. He urged agribusinesses to come together to tell the story and for such efforts to take place at the global scale. You know what I think we should do? We should create a Twitter bot that tweets this report 10 times a day while tagging Sean Baker, Nina Teicholz, Frederick Leroy, and Ken Berry, and all the other plonkers who are either getting actually paid or greatly profiting from lying, from obfuscating. If somebody can create that kind of bot, let me know. He urged agribusinesses to come together and tell the story, and for such efforts to take place at the global scale. As we will see in the next sections, the industry acted on this advice and is working much more closely on messaging, including building alliances and working with aligned academics to bring voices perceived as independent and having authority into public debate. Alpha seems to enjoy the fact that his money is being turned into a lie machine. But what do you guys think? Let me know just a little bit while I take a break and take a sip of water, coffee, whatever. What do you think, guys? To me, this sounds like insane that this didn't ruin Sean Baker's career. Well, I wouldn't poo-poo it. If I could be like a career influencer, I would. This is insane. And yet he's still on Twitter tweeting this report to use it to leverage his career further, to tighten his cult further. Because his cult doesn't care that this report names him as a spreader of lies. He doesn't give a shit. He knows his cult doesn't give a shit. He knows his cult are not going to give a shit. Well, Gotis is, is wanted for attempted murder, so I think even the meat industry has its limits on whom they're willing to fund. Down with the flu, feel better. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the flu, I'm still sniffling. It's been almost 2 weeks now. I'm so sorry to hear. Feel better. Deep dive, climate food facts. Climate food facts was likely created by the Red Flag PR agency as a coordinating hashtag to discredit the EAT-Lancet report. I definitely want to see that. As shown in a leaked document highlighting the remarkable success of its campaign messages. I definitely want to see that citation. So, citation 37, I think, is the leaked report on Red Flag Agency. All right. We're going to be here for a while, guys, so strap in. We're going to look into this until I'm bleeding from my eyes. The leaked document claims that key stories returned time and again in traditional and social media to reach major online influencers, particularly highlighting the radical nature of the EAT-Lancet diet and hypocrisy criticisms leveled at the EAT founders. Right. The document, so the leaked document claims, so 38 is the citation. I'm so sorry, I'm going to change that. 37, I think it's 38. I misread that. Okay. The document also shows that either Red Flag or its clients briefed experts in advance, who then showed substantive engagement with the messages. Crazy. Our investigation shows that the climate food facts campaign was launched on January 9th, 2019, so 8 days before the report, to preempt the release of the EAT-Lancet report. The hashtag had around 200 mentions in our dataset, but faded quickly in early February. Although short-lived, the posts served as a means of strategically swaying the online narrative, attacking EAT-Lancet's credibility, while greenwashing animal agriculture as essential, sustainable, and misunderstood. Crazy. The primary users of hashtag climate food facts were industry accounts and aligned individuals, mostly academics. Although the document highlights other top misinfluencers in our dataset, see box 1 red flag, we'll see that, I think we saw that before. The narratives pushed fall largely into the category of attacking scientific research and its offers for hypocrisy. They are telling poor people what to eat while they eat hamburgers and jet set around the world, right? We are familiar with the tactic of appeal to hypocrisy. Conflicts of interest, they are vegan. Well, they're definitely not. They're promoting animal agriculture. EAT-Lancet, I mean. And taking away personal choice. You see, all they have to do is throw vegan into here to discredit this incredibly scientific report. That's all they have to do, right? Obfuscation and taking the boogeyman, vegan, the veganism, and throwing it as a label at EAT-Lancet, a report that promotes animal agriculture. It just tells it to reduce itself a little bit, because otherwise we won't have a planet anymore. So this is incredible, right? That's one of the examples of using the hashtag. So this is the box 1. I guess we didn't see it. Red Flag is a strategic communications, a public affairs agency with offices in Brussels, Cape Town, Dublin, London, and Washington, D.C. In current and former client base included tobacco, chemical, and meat and dairy corporations. So they are actually representing the tobacco industry and all of those other lovely people, right? These clients include 3 industry groups prominent in the EAT-Lancet pushback. The Meat Institute since 2015 and affiliated Protein Pact. The AAA, so this is Animal Agriculture Alliance, and the IEA. I don't remember what the IEA is. The 2025 DeSmoke investigation details how Red Flag claimed credit for the success of the communications campaigns led by these groups and was likely hired by the Animal Agriculture Alliance to lead the hashtag climate food facts. So the same people who promote tobacco also promote the meat industry, and they are very successful at it, at swaying people who are unsure what the fuck to think closer to the agenda of the meat industry, which is to continue existing. Red Flag also provided communication support and services to both the Dublin and Denver scientific, quotations, conferences to promote the societal role of meat and livestock. For more about the conferences and Red Flag involvement, see section 5. Can't wait. This includes strategies to discredit EAT-Lancet, often conflating criticism of the EAT Foundation and the EAT-Lancet Commission and its findings. In the leaked Red Flag document, fantastic, the agency highlights posts from many of the individuals' misinfluences in our dataset, including among the top 20, Frederick Reloy, Peter Ballestad, Tim Noakes, Nina Teicholz, and Jason Fung. and in the wider network, notably Christopher Snowdon. How the fuck is that guy connected here? All right. Identifying them as relevant to the campaign. Citation 41. I want to read that as well. Citation 41 is red flag leaked document. That's going to be a fun live stream when we go through all the citations. That's going to be fucking fun. I can't wait. All right. Our analysis of the engagement level of these accounts indicates that it is likely that these are the expert red flag highlights as having briefed and who substantively engaged with criticizing EAT-Lancet. So that's another graph right there, reminding us of the timeline. So this is kind of crazy that they released the backlash 8 days before the report even saw air. That's insane to me. What's insane to me, not that they did it, that's obviously in their best interest to do that. It's that this is not besmirching anybody. The knowledge of this is not besmirching anybody. Nobody gets smeared with shit based on this report. As far as I saw, at least, Sean Baker is still as popular as everybody else. Nina Teicholz is still spewing absolute garbage. This is crazy to me. That's what's crazy to me. Let me just increase that. Looks good. Red flags also used paid for paid for posts. This is worded weirdly, to boost their reach, claiming this reached to 780,000 people on Facebook and Twitter and led to 8,000 click-throughs, including to campaign landing page, although the URL is not given. That's a shame. I would like to inspect that as well. Red Flags client, the Meat Institute, also used hashtag climate food facts, including in posts where it promotes several resources aimed to counter EAT-Lancet's findings, hosted on meatpoultrynutrition.org. Now, I don't mind that the Lancet report, obviously, because I seek the truth, right? I don't mind that the Lancet report is being met with criticism. That's important. But it's usually, the criticism is usually obfuscation and not like anything factual, as far as I could see at least. So it's like basically the report that I told you about that I read maybe 2 years ago, skimmed through, didn't read, that's why I didn't remember all of it, basically made the claim that the way EAT-Lancet or the way environmental researchers count methane emissions is incorrect somehow, you know. So like it's not like trying to say, well, you know, it's not giving like the numbers. It's not like saying, I don't know what I mean. Let's continue reading. Maybe I can formulate these thoughts later. This could have been the campaign landing page referred to, or another example of the industry-backed campaign page. So, what time is it? It's 7:30. Chat, please let me know if this is enough for the day. Should we stop here and continue next week? Or do you want me to continue a little more? This is fascinating to me, by the way. I don't know, put one in the chat if you want to continue, put two in the chat if you want us to stop right here. I can continue for a little more. But I don't know if this is interesting to you guys. It's incredibly interesting to me, so unfortunately, I'm just going to continue doing it anyways. Bianca doesn't want to continue. I'm not tired. I'm good. I'm okay. It's fascinating, but it's long. Yeah, we're gonna continue for a few more weeks. That's for sure. Can we disable for another hour? Let's do that. Sorry, my computer wants to be amber colored now. Bianca, maybe you can do another 30 minutes. That's good. That was what I was considering, because anything over 2 hours is excessive. So, Animal Agriculture Alliance. Well, let's just see. Let's see. Well, we'll get where we get. Animal Ag Alliance, by the way. Those are the people. So this is the claim, right? We agree. Healthy and sustainable diets are the future. Good thing meat and dairy are both. And then it goes to this. foodnavigator.com and some kind of article. Should we go try to find it? 2019, we don't. January 10, 2019. We can try find it at some point. I don't know. No, I'm not going to do another 90 minutes, no worries. All right. Animal Agriculture Alliance. The devil. I'm joking. I shouldn't be invoking such language. According to the De-Smoke investigation, Red Flag appears to have worked or at least been linked to the Animal Agriculture Alliance, as U.S. nonprofit that aims to connect key food industry stakeholders to arm them with responses to emerging issues and promote consumer choices by helping them better understand modern animal agriculture. The group's sponsors include global meat giants Cargill and Tyson, and its board comprises meat and dairy industry leaders, including Eric Mittenhall. Is that actually his fucking name? The Animal Agriculture Alliance was the central force behind the #Climate Food Facts campaign, posting over 50 times during the study period and consistently using the hashtag. Although not in the top accounts for engagement, the Animal Agriculture Alliance came 9th in terms of volume posts, with 61 posts in the dataset, contributing to the background noise. Now, if 50 posts or 61 posts seems too little to you, and I think this is like in 1 year, either in 1 year or in 3 months. I'm not sure what they mean by the dataset in this case. Well, I guess it depends what they actually mean by the dataset in here. What I'm saying is this is counting the use of the hashtag, and not like they probably had like multiple posts talking about the same thing, just not using the hashtag, I guess. Our data shows that it was the Miss Influencer Peter Ballestered, grass-based. Now I'm gonna give one thing to those people: the invention of the of their handle. It's pretty fantastic. Grass-based. That's a pretty fantastic hashtag for a meat shield. You know what I mean? Not a hashtag, the handle. Who was the first to use climate food facts hashtag? With the AAA then using it on 10th of January to position meat and dairy as both healthy and sustainable in response to a Food Navigator article about the WHO's Healthy Diet produced sustainability information sheet. It's not clear if the information sheet itself was linked to the EAT-Lancet Commission, but its message and food system need to shift to lower meat consumption meant it quickly also became embroiled in the backlash. Wondering what its forum recommendation mean for your kids? Iron is I hate when they do this. Iron is essential, therefore meat is essential. Crazy. For children's diets, low meat consumption increases anemia and iron deficiency in toddlers. What's the evidence for that? And also, why does that mean that after toddlerhood, you should continue eating animal protein? It's like irrelevant, right? Because just signal, the EAT-Lancet is coming for your kids, right? So, what will happen to the kids? Panic. And then they make a claim about toddlers specifically, and they make the strong claim about low meat consumption increasing anemia and iron deficiency in toddlers. This is truly vile, because meat consumption also increases the cardiovascular disease in those people who are gonna grow out of toddlerhood and die at 65 or something like that. This is vile and evil. They're doing this for money. This is vile and evil. Oh, look at the pun. Jesus Christ. I hate those people. The AAA called EAT-Lancet and the EAT Foundation, tagging them specifically, but naming EAT-Lancet, agenda-driven. When people say this, I'm like, do you realize that you also have an agenda here? Do you realize that everybody has an agenda, and that's okay, as long as they're not dealing in lies? That's okay to have an agenda and promote it, as long as it's promotion with the truth. This is crazy. Speculative. But why am I tirade about this? Because my ex-boss, every time I have a conversation with her, I kind of don't want to do anything with her anymore. But she uses agenda as one of those hitting hammers. And I was like, well, look at yourself. Look in the mirror, basically. So speculative, the report was very science-based, as far as I remember, and radical. Radical, they advocate for animal agriculture and claimed it ignored meat and dairy's contribution to health. How? They advocate for eating those foods posed a risk of worsening malnutrition. How? They promote eating those foods would lead to increased food waste. How? And was it distracting from the highest priorities for addressing greenhouse gas emissions? I'm kind of actually fucking speechless at the moment. Distracting from addressing the highest priority for addressing, distracting from the highest priorities for addressing greenhouse gas emissions. It's basically look there kind of claim. There's a citation for that? Where? I don't. Like, do the AAA have a citation for that? They probably have some kind of a citation for it. Is it good evidence? I don't know. Between 17th and 19th of January 2019, so to remind you, the EAT-Lancet report was released on January 18th. The AAA posted 18 times using hashtag climate food facts to promote narratives such as that vegetables have a higher carbon footprint than meat, and that animal agriculture is only responsible for 4% of US greenhouse gas emissions. That's crazy. Look, they're actually fucking doing it. They're actually fucking doing it. Does EAT-Lancet know that meeting 75% of your nutrition needs with vegetables would have a 3 times greater carbon footprint than meeting the same needs with a meat and dairy? What the fuck is the evidence for that? I bet they don't account for feed, like at all. I bet they just like omit feed from their calculations. If they made any calculations and not just like this claim on Twitter. Sometimes all you need to do is just like write this down and plonkers. Look at it and say, ah, shit, good to know. Let me get another steak. Sometimes they don't even need. They know this. They don't even need to provide any citations. The Meat Institute, formerly North American Meat Institute, NAMI. Isn't the Meat Institute is the place where there is like a 24-hour social media lobby, not lobby, but like, what is it called? Like room where they just like immediately attend to any claims against meat industry. Isn't that it? Where's the evidence? Trust me, bro. Could be the next tweet. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's continue a little bit more. Not too much. The Meat Institute is the largest trade association representing processors of beef, pork, lamb, veal, and poultry in North America. The body has questioned the link between human activity and global heating, funded research downplaying the industry's role in climate change, and regularly attempts to greenwash livestock emissions as part of natural cycles. The Meat Institute posted, so we're now going through all of the players, which is fantastic. The Meat Institute posted 24 times about EAT-Lancet, often with claims about the natural and essential role and health benefits of meat production. The account also used hashtag climate food facts, including our analysis reveals in posts promoting resources to counter EAT-Lancet's finding, linked to its website meatpoultrynutrition.org, which it says it's not clear if this was the campaign landing page referred to in the leaked red flag document, or if it was a different example of an industry-backed campaign page. The website is now defunct. So this is not clickable, is it? I don't have permission to access it. Maybe because I'm not in America. Oh, shit. Why am I keep telling on myself? I am in America. I'm in America. Trust me. At the time, the site included a specific section called EAT-Lancet Resources, which we were able to retrieve through the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine. Oh my God, I want to see that. On 18th of January 2019, the day after the EAT-Lancet report launch, or So it launched on 17th. I misled you earlier. It's not on the 18th. The Meat Institute shared an image of expert quotes criticizing the report and using both hashtags. These quotes appear to come from tweets and include broad arrays of the top misinfluencers in our analysis across all three main categories: scientists and academics, doctors and health influencers, and pro-meat journalists and authors. See page 36. We're going to get there. This is the Meat Institute. Lean meat's nutrition density has been shown to control appetite effectively, so fucking what? So like 10,000 other foods, because it provides a sense of satisfaction. So do 10,000 other foods. Ask my dad. He doesn't like tofu, but it's incredibly satiating to him. The dumbass was losing weight and I gave him tofu and he was like, this is incredibly satiating. But he didn't like the taste of it. And he never gave it enough of a chance. He doesn't like spices and stuff. He doesn't like adding taste to his food. And so tofu tastes like nothing to him. Anyways, sorry, tangent. When we feel satisfied, we can eat fewer calories, sure. But vegetables provide that as well. Have you tried eating a watermelon? 100 calories and you can't eat for days. All the more reason to say yes to meat. Fucking propaganda, straight up. Safe to say the experts are not on board with EAT-Lancet. As if EAT-Lancet wasn't written by fucking experts, right? I would have liked to examine who are the experts that this Meat Institute is talking about, because I bet it's just like, animal agriculture has its own branch in science. So I bet it's those people. People who are like literally just like studied husbandry and got to doctorates and shit. I guess. So a little more, I guess you can examine all of those things. And this is from the Wayback Machine, I'm guessing. Meat's role in sustainable food system. So yeah, this is the meatpoultrynutrition.org. The .org even, it's fucking brilliant, isn't it? Because when we see .org, we imagine like there is an air of what is it called? Expertise, or like I don't remember the word also. I said it today, but I don't remember it. There were also 2 instances where industry-aligned misinfluencers who are likely affiliated with the Meat Institute, although the Meat Institute does not disclose its membership, wonder why, its status as the largest trade body means it is highly probable that the companies promoting this shared messaging are affiliated. Known general members include Cargill, GBS, USA, Maple Leaf Foods, Smithfield Foods, Tyson Foods, Walmart, and OSI Group, a US-based holding company of meat processors supplying brands such as McDonald's, Chipotle, and Burger King. In 2023, I've decided I'm not gonna buy vegan products from big chains anymore. Fuck that shit. I might change my mind later, but right now it just seems like silly just giving them money to funnel back into propaganda. Fuck that shit. Definitely will never see me again in McDonald's. Yeah. So, posted the same tweet simultaneously, sometimes using both hashtags. on January 17th, when the report was released, the day of the public EAT-Lancet launch, 6 accounts, all of whom work for the meat industry, posted identical pro-meat posts in a 2.25-hour window using hashtag climate food facts. You can see them right here. Meat is a unique nutrient-dense food that fuels brain development, muscle growth, and numerous other bodily functions. This is what pisses me off, right? That position, I'm going to accept that claim as 100% truthful. Except that it's a unique nutrient-dense food that fuels brain development, muscle growth, and numerous other bodily functions. This doesn't mean that this is the only food that can do this, right? Maybe, just maybe, a combination of plant foods and supplements can do the same thing, but safer and better. Maybe. Right? They're not making the claim that meat is the only thing that can do it. The word unique can mean whatever the fuck, right? Oh, it's a unique food. What the fuck does that even mean? It's one of those meaningless words that you can interpret as meaning that meat is the only thing that can give you this, which would be crazy. All right. So a bunch of meat shills basically published the same exact tweet and hashtagged climate food facts EAT-Lancet. And they also linked to this sot.ag, which I'm not sure what it is, probably this. This is the sot.ag. So some of them just linked it and it didn't materialize as a picture. What the fuck is a social toaster? Turn your employees into advocates and influencers. This looks like tofu, but it's a toaster. Leverage your existing marketing content to engage your employees and drive word-to-mouth referrals and traffic. Easily access who's seeing and sharing your content. Reward employees for sharing content through our gamification platform. Integrates with the tools you already use to communicate with employees. Generate amazing ROI, I don't remember what it stands for earned media. Solution for any industry. I'm starting to think like a fucking natter. We are being influenced day in, day out. And this is one of the tools to do so. I'm starting to give up on my sanity. I guess this is a good place to stop when I'm crushed by the magnitude of this report and whatever the fuck a social toaster is. Okay. Well, what do you say, guys? Are you ready to buckle up for quite a few weeks of this pursuit? Because I'm crushed right now, but I'm gonna rebound really quickly, and I really want to continue reading this report. How do we use, I guess you can use the social toaster. Digital media buying. Entertainment, non-profit and associations, agencies. Higher education, alumni, engagement solutions. I guess you can use social toaster. Somebody need to fund that shit for us though. Hey Twisted, what's up? You've missed the crushing of my soul. But I'll rebound, I promise. Anyways, please put one in the chat if this was interesting to you and if you're ready for the next week. Not the crushing. Yes. The crushing. Yes. Hey, the LTN. What's up? Somewhat, you tops. Is it breaking you as well? Don't fret. Don't fret. Yes, this is soul crushing. But we must keep a hope. More people need to know. Well, I was the bot thing, I think, should be a thing. So if somebody knows how to write bots on Twitter, fucking let me know. Jesus Christ. Let's come up with a plan. Let's come up with a plan. This is crazy. All right. So it seems that at least some of you want me to continue. Not gonna lie, if you would have put 2 in the chat, I would have ignored you probably. Most likely. Because I like this. I want to read this. I want to know. Even if it crushes me, I want to know. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. People on the replay, you can watch the horizontal representations of this live stream, and I'll put the link in the chat. Yeah, in the pinned comment or something like that. So let's continue next week and see you next time, guys.